The soft clatter of pans and the smell of toasted sesame oil draw you into the kitchen before you even open your eyes. You smile. Jungkook always cooks on Sundays. You stretch lazily, the comforter still tangled around your legs, and glance at the clock. 8:27 a.m. Not bad for a Sunday. Your daughter's giggles echo faintly from the hallway, followed by your mother-in-law's unmistakable voice. Sharp, clear, always a touch commanding. You pad out of the bedroom barefoot, rubbing your eyes as you spot your little girl running through the hall, holding a stuffed bunny by its ear. Slow down, Munchkin, you call, half laughing, half yawning. She spins on her heel, cheeks puffed. Appa said he'll braid my hair if I let Grandma help him cook. You blink a little amused. He said that? She nods proudly, clutching the bunny tighter. You follow her into the kitchen where Jungkook is standing at the stove, shirt sleeves rolled up, expertly flipping golden pancakes. His mother stands beside him, handing over the cut fruit with precision. A picture-perfect morning until you see your daughter hop onto the stool near the counter, only to be gently redirected. Not there, sweetheart, his mother says quickly. Go sit at the dining table. This area is for adults. You stiffen slightly but say nothing. Jungkook doesn't notice. His attention is focused on getting the pancakes perfectly golden. Morning, babe, he says over his shoulder, voice warm. You're just in time. You walk over, resting your hand on his back. Smells amazing. He leans in briefly, kisses your cheek. His mother watches, her eyes flickering to you and Jungkook constantly. Your daughter sulks quietly at the table, chin on her tiny hands. You join her. Want me to braid your hair now? You whisper. No, she mutters. Appa said he would. You glance toward the kitchen. Jungkook is still busy laughing softly at something his mom says. You catch the words. Kids these days don't even sit straight at the table. From her direction, quiet but pointed. You gently brush your daughter's hair back. Appa's just a little busy, love, but he'll do it after breakfast, okay? She nods, but the sparkle is missing. Time skip. Later at the dining table. Jungkook sits down with a flourish, placing your plate in front of you. Chef of the day delivers, he says with a wink. Your daughter claps, and your heart melts at the pure admiration in her eyes. Appa, did you cut the fruit too? Before Jungkook can answer, his mother cuts in. He did, but he left the grapes on. You really should teach her not to be so picky. Kids should learn to eat what they are given. You glance at your daughter, who immediately drops her spoon. She wasn't being picky, you say, keeping your tone even. She just doesn't like the grape skin. That's normal at her age. Jungkook, caught mid-sip of his coffee, glances at you. It's fine, Mom. I'll peel them next time. His mother gives a tight-lipped smile. If you keep indulging everything, she'll grow up soft. You see your daughter shrink slightly in her chair. Your hand instinctively moves to her back. She's not soft, she's sensitive, that's different. Jungkook stays quiet, eyes flicking between you and his mother, but you know him. He doesn't like conflict, especially at the table, especially between you two. You sigh inwardly and change the subject. Time skip. Later that day. You watch Jungkook in the backyard through the glass window. He's laughing with his mother as she holds up a photo album. He looks happy, at peace, and yet, beside you, your daughter is sketching quietly, sunlight falling on her serious little face. She likes Grandma, you whisper to yourself. She just doesn't know why Grandma doesn't seem to like her. Your daughter looks up to you as if sensing your thoughts. Am I like Appa? She asks. The question catches you off guard. You swallow. You're exactly like Appa, especially the part where you care too much about others. She grins faintly, but the doubt doesn't fully leave her eyes. Time skip. Later that evening. The clink of cutlery echoes through the polished wooden table. The evening light slants through the sheer curtains, bathing the room in soft gold. Your daughter hums quietly as she tries to scoop up noodles with her chopsticks, a tiny furrow between her brows. Jungkook sits at the head of the table, relaxed, legs slightly sprawled. His mother sits to his right, you are on his left, your daughter beside you. It should feel like a scene from a warm family movie, but the silence between the words carries its own dialogue. Don't slouch while eating, dear, his mother says, eyeing your daughter. Your daughter straightens her back immediately, embarrassed. Sorry, Grandma. You open your mouth to diffuse it gently, but Jungkook beats you to it. It's okay, baby, he says with a chuckle, ruffling her hair. She's still learning. She's 7, Jungkook, his mother replies with a sigh. Not 3. I'm just saying, maybe if someone didn't spoil her so much. Her tone is light, but every syllable lands heavy. Your eyes narrow slightly, you stir your soup. She's not spoiled, she's just a child who knows she's loved. His mother sets her chopsticks down a little too delicately. Yes, well, love is one thing, discipline is another. You know how it reflects when she's compared to other kids in her family? Minji, for example, that girl's in chess, violin, and fluent in Korean and English. This one still mumbles when she reads aloud. You feel the burn rise in your chest. Jungkook's chopsticks pause mid-air. Your daughter freezes, slowly lowers her spoon. I'm trying to learn, she says, voice barely above a whisper, and you break just slightly. She's not here to compete with Minji or anyone else, you say, turning to Jungkook's mom. She's finding her own way at her own pace. I wasn't criticizing, she replies coolly. I'm just concerned. Children reflect their upbringing. That does it. You feel something inside you clench. Before you can speak, Jungkook jumps in, trying to neutralize. Mom, let's just enjoy dinner. Yeah? No comparison. She's doing great. You glance at him. His tone is casual, even loving, but there's that familiar undertone again, that need to maintain peace to avoid choosing a side, to smoothen the surface instead of acknowledging the cracks. You're quiet for the rest of the meal. Your daughter barely finishes her plate. Her appetite wilts under the weight of concern. Time skip. Later in the bedroom, you're folding laundry while Jungkook scrolls on his phone, half lying on the bed. Your daughter's already asleep in the next room. She didn't even eat properly, you murmur. She'll be fine, he says, not looking up. You know she is sensitive like you. You pause mid-fold, that word again, sensitive. She's sensitive because she's absorbing everything. She feels when people look down on her, even if they say it with a smile. He looks up at you now, brows slightly furrowed. You think my mom looks down on her? You shrug, tone quiet but steady. She does. She doesn't even realize it because she thinks she's helping. Jungkook sighs, places his phone aside. She's from a different generation, babe. She doesn't mean harm. But she causes it anyway. He's silent for a moment. I'm not asking you to stop loving her, you continue. I'm asking you to see how she speaks to your daughter. Our daughter, he corrects gently. You nod, then protect her like she's yours in every room, not just when it's convenient. Jungkook leans back, jaw tight. It's not that simple. No, you whisper, meeting his eyes. It never is. But it shouldn't be when it comes to your child. Time skip. A week later, a family gathering. The living room smells of cardamom tea and butter cookies. Jungkook is on the couch laughing along with his uncle about some old college story. You're seated in the single armchair. Your daughter perched on the ottoman seat in front of you, humming softly as she flips through a picture book. Your mother-in-law walks in with a tray of fresh tea and neatly plated snacks. She's smiling, poised, the perfect host. I made these exactly how Jungkook likes them, she announces proudly, placing the tray on the center table. Extra crispy edges, he's always been particular. You smile politely, though you remember you're the one who taught her the recipe. Everyone laughs, sipping tea and catching up. It feels warm for a second. Why don't you recite your new poem, sweetheart? You say gently to your daughter, brushing back her hair, the one you wrote about the moon. Your daughter lights up, cheeks flushed with pride. Really? Really, you whisper, squeezing her shoulder. She hops up, clutching her tiny notebook. You feel Jungkook's eyes on her, soft, proud, expectant. She begins, and then she stutters, just for a moment. One syllable catches on her tongue. She frowns, tries again, her voice shaky. The room stays politely quiet except for one person. Your mother-in-law exhales sharply, waving a hand. I told you not to make her perform, she mutters, but not quietly enough. It's embarrassing when she can't even speak properly. She gets that lack of grace from your side of the family. The silence that follows is absolute. Your daughter's voice dies, her small shoulders fold in, and something inside you shifts. Not a shatter, not a snap, a slow turn. eyes becoming fire. You rise from the chair slowly, deliberately, every eye turning to you. I'm sorry, you say calmly, your tone light, too light. Could you repeat what you just said, Amoni? Your mother in law blinks, clearly not expecting this. I said, I heard you. Your voice is clear, strong, like glass, beautiful and sharp. I just needed to make sure you meant it. Jungkook straightens confused. Why? No, Jungkook. You raise your hand slightly without looking at him. Your eyes are on her, only her. I've stayed quiet when you picked apart how I cook. I've smiled when you judged the way I dress or the way I parent. I've nodded through comments disguised as concern. I've let you disrespect me because I thought maybe you don't mean it. Maybe it's just your way. Maybe love looks different from you. You take a step forward, but today you disrespected a child, a 7-year-old, your granddaughter. She needs to learn how to. She tries to interrupt. She needs love, you cut in, tone unwavering. And what she doesn't need is to hear that she's an embarrassment in front of a room full of strangers, especially not from the woman who's supposed to be proud of her. Jungkook stands now. Vian, come on. Still calm, still centered, you turn to him. You always ask me to keep the peace, to not take things personally. But what do you do when someone attacks your daughter's spirit in front of you? His mouth parts slightly, but no words come. I have been patient, you add. But I won't let her grow up thinking she's less. I won't let her carry wounds she doesn't deserve. Your daughter is frozen behind you, clutching her notebook like it's a shield. You kneel beside her, brushing her hair back. You did amazing, baby. I'm proud of you. Tears pool in her eyes, but she nods. You take her hand and walk toward the bedroom, leaving silence and stunned faces in your wake. Time skip. Later in the bedroom. You're tucking her in. Her eyes are heavy, but her fingers cling to yours. Am I still allowed to read in front of people? She whispers. Your chest tightens. Of course you are. And you'll get better, stronger, louder. And you'll do it knowing that nothing anyone says about you can shrink you. She nods. Sleep tugs at her lashes. You sit by her side even after her breaths even out. The door creaks behind you. You turn. Jungkook stands there, jaw tense, face unreadable. She's asleep, you whisper. He nods, walks in, doesn't speak. You expect anger or confusion, but instead he says quietly, I've never seen you look like that before. You hold his gaze, because I've never had to choose between silence and my daughter's self-worth before. He doesn't reply, not yet. Just walks over and sits beside the bed, running a hand over your daughter's blanket. Then he says, barely audible, I know you wouldn't have done that unless something really hurt. You say nothing, but in that moment, for the first time tonight, you feel seen. Time skip. Late at night. The living room is dim, just one lamp glowing beside the couch where Jungkook sits, elbows resting on his knees, hands clasped tight. You step in silently, holding a folded blanket. You place it on the armrest without a word. He doesn't look at you. The silence between you isn't angry, it's heavier than that. It's reflective, gutted. You sit across from him, your legs tucked under you, eyes on him but not pushing, not demanding, just waiting. Finally, he exhales, long, slow. She's never spoken to anyone like that before, he says. You nod once, I know. And I didn't stop her, he adds. You did, you reply gently, you just didn't realize it. He lifts his gaze to you then, eyes darker than usual. How long have you felt like this? Like you've been swallowing things to keep the peace. You hesitate, not because you don't know the answer, but because the truth might cut deeper than silence ever could. Since before we got married, that stuns him. He sits back blinking. That long? You nod softly. At first I thought it would get better. That once she saw I was good to you, that I loved you, she would warm up to me. That if I was kind and respectful and careful, she would stop measuring me against everything I wasn't. Jungkook rubs his hand over his face. I thought you two were fine. I mean, not close, but I didn't think you didn't want to see it. You say, not accusing, just true. Because it's your mom, and I get that. I really do. I've never asked you to choose. I never wanted that. He swallows hard, I know. But she crossed the line tonight, Jungkook. Your voice tightens now, trembling just slightly. She didn't just belittle me, she humiliated our daughter in front of other people. She made her feel ashamed of her voice. He leans forward, elbows on his knees again. His voice is barely above a whisper. She said she gets it from your side of the family, that lack of grace. You nod once. She did. Oh, God. He presses his fingers into his temples. She doesn't even know she's doing it, Jungkook, because she thinks she's being honest or helpful, but that doesn't make it less damaging. A pause. He's silent, and then, I've put her above you, he says, haven't I? You look at him, heart clenched. Not just me. He already knows the answer. Our daughter. You nod again, not on purpose, but yes. He lets out a shaky breath, leans back against the couch like he's sinking into something painful. My whole life, he murmurs, I've been taught that my mom is the reason I became who I am, and she is. She gave up everything to raise me. She's been strict, sure, but strong, proud. And I thought the least I could do was keep her first in everything. You watch him, quiet. He meets your eyes. But what kind of man puts the past before his present? Before the woman who loves him and the little girl who looks at him like he's her entire world. You blink back sudden tears, but you smile softly. That's not weakness, Jungkook, that's growth. He stands suddenly, walks towards the window, runs a hand through his hair. His voice is hoarse. I hated watching her cry, our daughter. I hated that I let it get that far. You didn't let it, you just didn't see it happening. He turns to face you, and you did. You nod, and I chose not to wait until it got worse. Another beat of silence. Then Jungkook walks over slowly, kneels in front of you. His hand takes yours, his eyes lock into yours like they're trying to memorize everything he's ever missed. I believe you, he says. Even when I didn't understand it, even when I didn't hear what she said, I believe you. Because I know you, and I know you would never raise your voice unless someone stepped on something sacred. Your throat tightens. I'm sorry, I didn't say it sooner, he says. I'm sorry I let her words become your silence. You brush your thumb across his knuckles. You didn't fail, Jungkook. You're learning, you're trying. That's more than enough for me. He leans his forehead against your knees and stays there. Time skip. Next morning. The smell of brewed tea fills the air. Sunlight filters in through the blinds, soft and honey-colored, casting long shadows across the kitchen counter. Jungkook walks in dressed simply. White t-shirt, joggers, barefoot. No armor, no facade. Just him. His mother stands by the sink, drying a cup. She doesn't turn when she hears him come in. You're up early, she says casually. So are you, he replies, voice steady. She places the cup on the rack, still not facing him. I figured I'd make breakfast for you. Thought you might be tired after all the drama last night. He doesn't answer immediately, just walks over to the dining table and sits down, elbows on the table, hands loosely folded. Oma. She finally turns, blinks at him. Her smile flickers. Yes? He gestures to the chair across him. Sit, please. She hesitates, but Jungkook's tone isn't cold. It's kind, respectful, but firm. She sits. A few moments of silence stretch thin between them. Then he begins, voice low but heavy with something she's never heard from him before. Wait. I've always put you first. She tilts her head, trying to smile. You're my son. Of course you did. No, he shakes his head gently. I mean, even after I got married, even after becoming a father, I still made sure you were first every time, even when it cost the peace in my home. Her expression hardens slightly. What are you trying to say? He meets her eyes, doesn't look away. I never once questioned you, never corrected you. I let your words sting my wife and I convinced myself you didn't mean harm. But last night, he swallows, jaw tense. Last night, I saw my daughter shrink into herself. I saw fear and shame in her eyes. His mother exhales. I didn't mean it that way, but it landed that way, he says, firmer now, and that's what matters. You know, I just want her to grow up well, she defends, to not to be soft and emotional all the time. She's allowed to be soft, he cuts in, voice suddenly like steel. She's 7, and if softness is her way of being brave in this world, I'll protect it with everything I have. She stiffens. Jungkook leans forward slightly. You've been everything to me, Oma. You made me who I am. I'll always be grateful. I'll always love you. But now, he pauses. Now, I have to be the man who protects the family I chose to build. That means seeing when you're wrong and saying it. She's silent, but her throat moves as she swallows. I'm not asking you to change who you are. Jungkook adds gently, but I'm asking you to look at the words you use, especially with my daughter, because if you keep telling her she's not enough, one day she'll believe it. A long pause. A long pause. Then, in the softest voice, she looked so hurt, she whispers. She was, Jungkook replies. His mother blinks quickly, brushing under her eyes. I thought I was helping. I didn't want her to become weak. Jungkook shakes his head. Kindness isn't weakness, and neither is protecting your child's heart. She exhales, eyes glassy now. I don't want her to grow up hating me. She doesn't, he says quietly. But if this continues, she might grow up afraid of you, and that I won't allow. She nods slowly. Okay. I'm not asking you to be perfect, he says, standing up now. I'm just asking you to be careful. She stays seated as he walks towards the door. But before he leaves, she says softly, tell her I'm sorry. He pauses, hand on the door frame. I think it would mean more coming from you. And with that, he walks away. Time skip. Later that evening, you're in the backyard watching your daughter pluck little yellow flowers and stick them into a cup. You hear the door creak. Jungkook walks out. You look up. How did it go? He sits beside you, silent for a beat. Then he says she didn't argue. Not really. I think she knew. You nod. That's something. She said she's sorry. You glance at him. To you? She asked me to tell you. You raise a brow. And what did you say? He smirks faintly. I told her to say it herself. You smile. It's small but warm. Then he leans closer, voice low. I'm sorry too. For what? For making you feel like you had to carry all this alone. You don't reply. You just gently lay your head on his shoulder. Your daughter giggles in the distance, showing a flower to her shadow. And for the first time in a long time, the silence feels safe.